Thanks for tuning in to That's What I Call Marketing, the Cannes Sessions. Brought to you by Freedman International, the international campaign experts taking the pain out of your multi-market campaigns. I'm your host, Conor Byrne, and having worked with Freedman International in my previous role as a global marketing leader, I've experienced firsthand their deep level of expertise and attention to detail as the go-to experts for all international campaign needs. Now, let's get right into today's episode of That's What I Call Marketing, the Cannes Sessions. Welcome to That's What I Call Marketing, the Cannes Sessions. I'm not with Con Lewis today. He got evicted from the festival yesterday for poor behaviour. No, he has gone home today after his week here at the festival. So I've been catching up with a load of other people throughout the day. I started out the morning at the LinkedIn rooftop in the Carlton. My God, some hotel. I'm certainly not staying there. But I got to speak to a few people about what they're looking, for this week, what they've been enjoying, what kind of B2B themes are coming through for them. And I'm quite enthused by what they had to say. So let's hear what I heard at the LinkedIn rooftop. You can't go anywhere in Cannes without bumping into an Irish person. Rita Kieran, how are you?
I'm great. I'm delighted to be here.
You're at the LinkedIn rooftop B2B. Can you tell me a bit about what you've kind of seen this week? Any kind of big B2B standouts for you?
Yeah, well, really, I think the first one and the simplest one is get out of the office. Get out of the office, talk to your customers, listen to them, try and identify what problems you can solve for them. Or the other one was, more importantly, what problems are they already paying for to be solved? So get out, listen to the customers, get out of the office. And I guess, while you're hearing everything is changing, but nothing is changing.
Yeah.
And that's really the first thing. So you've still got to get all the insights from your customers. You got to get out into the field. That's probably my first one. And then let's see today. I'm dead keen to see how LinkedIn is going to help us do that as well.
Yeah, it's great to see. And have you been up to LinkedIn sessions before? This
No,
you're digging deep into B2B today.
This is my first one. Obviously, with Flowgas, we've got a huge B2B business. So we just launched our first bio-CNG station. So we're really excited to really bring that to all sorts of different companies that really need to reduce their Scope 3 emissions. So keen to see how LinkedIn is going to help us do that. Or yesterday, listening to Elon Musk, he can help us do that too.
He's going to reach out. Yeah. All the B2B people are on LinkedIn.
All the decision makers, all the policy makers and decision makers. So do you give your money to Twitter? Do you give it to LinkedIn? Or do you get out into the field and try and do it a bit yourself? So I think you kind of got to take it all on board, but it does make you think quite differently.
Yeah.
When you listen to everybody, or it broadens your perspective a lot more.
Yeah, and of course, in your role, you have both B2B and B2C. So and you've had that before, but you're bringing kind of that expertise. I love seeing that because sometimes we don't get enough of that duality in marketing. So you're going to bring that experience.
Yeah. Or you talk of the CMO of Unilever yesterday was, you've really got to talk to the person. You're talking to the person, you're not talking to the customer.
Yeah.
So it doesn't really matter whether it's B2B or B2C. You still got to really understand the person.
Yeah.
So I think you take a different perspective on that, or you don't put it in such a silo. So equally, whether somebody is running a business or a country, they still have gas, electricity, or an energy usage at home. So that's different for us. Let's really kind of look at it on a much bigger perspective, and certainly Flowgas will be able to provide energy for all of them.
I was going to do the Flowgas plug, but
I have to. And if everybody isn't a customer already, hopefully they will be by the end of this week.
Brilliant. Well, listen, thanks a million. I grabbed you there. So thanks. Great to see you.
You too, and well done. Love following you.
Brilliant.
Forward to meet today.
Yeah, thanks a million, Rita. Talk to you later. Cheers.
Bye.
Lauren, thanks for stopping by. I know there's a session about to start here in the LinkedIn rooftop. It's lashing rain outside. I think I'm the only person that's happy. It's raining after a week of heat. Listen, I'm just catching up with people. I love B2B marketing. What have you seen this week that's really inspired you around kind of state of B2B marketing?
Yeah, of course. So I think it was probably the highlight for me was the awards ceremony last night, where some incredible work was showcased in the B2B category. I think B2B has perhaps unfairly had a little bit of a reputation for being a bit dry and maybe uninspirational.
I've called it mind-numbingly boring before.
Okay. More to the point. But seeing the category last night showcase some really edgy and interesting work. And I was warned going into the ceremony you might get emotional. And I was
Okay.
like, I don't think so. Like, it's advertising. I watch ads all the time at home and I don't cry. But I did tear up during a few of
Really?
them.
Amazing.
Yeah, and in the B2B category, it was just really interesting how they really humanized it, played to emotion. And, that's what we talk about a lot. Like, B2B might be mind-numbingly boring to some.
It shouldn't
traditionally.
be.
It shouldn't be.
No, that's
It's-
why. Yeah, that's
you're
why I call
still
it that.
selling to people.
Yeah. Yes. Exactly. We have a session on now, and the rest of today. What are you kind of expecting for the rest of today?
I think there's an interesting discussion around AI, which I can hopefully attend in between customer meeting. I think that's what's on the agenda.
Brilliant. Well, Lauren, thanks so much for stopping by. This is
Of
about to
course.
start, so I'll let you get and go meet your client.
Thanks so much. Bye.
What's your name and where are you from?
My name's Tom McAleer. I'm with Deloitte Digital.
Okay, excellent. I'm really interested. I love the B2B marketing space. What have you seen this week around B2B? What are the trends? What are the things you've enjoyed and are excited about?
I think clearly, B2B is starting to have its moment. And while most companies haven't invested historically, it's about time that it will happen. Businesses want a consumer grade experience, much like they've been getting in their personal lives. And so that expectation, the bar is being raised.
It's great news. I love hearing that because it excites me. And, I was just saying to other people that, B2B marketing has been accused of being mind-numbingly boring. Someone said it's like putting a PowerPoint on the back of, The Economist or something like that. So how do you think things might and can evolve in the future? How can we get to even better work?
Well, I think there's an expectation that the business buyer is only in the market 5% of the time.
Yeah.
But you need to be marketing to them all along the year to build the brand permission and awareness so that when the opportunity comes, you're part of the review process and can come out on top.
Yeah, exactly. It's great that those stats are starting to stick as well. People know them, which is good news. Well, listen, this is about to start. I'll let you get back to your seat. Thanks so much for stopping by. So I went straight from there in the pouring, lashing of rain. Might have been the only person in Cannes happy to see the rain, across to the RTL beach, the RTL Ad Alliance beach, where they were hosting a session with IPSOS. Emmanuel Probst, who's been a guest on the podcast before, was hosting a panel. Really interesting stuff. And Emmanuel summarised it really, really brilliantly. He kind of called out three things. We need to be intellectual and find and meet people where they are. He also said in one of the panels was talking about this, that it really is a privilege for us to be considered by consumers. I think that's something we really need to remember and think about. We talked about kind of being forgettable. We're not always in the mind of consumers. So it really is, I love that idea of being a privilege to be considered by consumers. On the topic of DE&I, one of the panels was talking about progress over perfection. I thought that was a really great way of framing that conversation, but actually lots of things. Make progress over perfection. If we wait for perfection all the times, we won't actually make progress. And being humble not to have the answers. Again, just some great themes coming out of that panel. And we went straight from that into an amazing session with Lara, Krug and Justin Reid from the Kansas City Chiefs. Really, really interesting session. Lara is one of the most influential women in sports marketing. She talked about the need to grow reach and frequency. There aren't that many CMOs in the NFL, but she's been successful at kind of helping grow the Kansas City Chief brands, not just in the US, but overseas. Over 3.8 million viewers in Germany. Germany is a huge market for NFL. Justin Reid was asked about marketing and advertising and does he like it? And he said he really loves connecting with people and his understanding that people really do relate to the stories and challenges that he faces as an athlete all the time. They were also chatting about the Super Bowl ads and how the bar is so high, but it's not just about the ad and that moment, but it really has to drive business. And Lara had done work previously in her previous roles actually making Super Bowl, so she understands it really, really well. They talked about the Super Bowl or the NFL season, and Lara joked saying there is no off season, and how they have to use the off season or what is called the off season to continue to engage fans and their fandom, as they called it, through stories and compelling narratives. They also talked about how, they use things like the playoffs to bring in other non-Kansas City Chief fans whose teams may be knocked out, and bringing them in on the journey. Obviously, the Kansas City Chiefs have been incredibly successful. I was lucky enough to actually go and say hello to Justin Reid. He took a picture with me, so I was definitely fanning there, and he sent a message to my kids at home, which is really kind of, again, it shows kind of the humanity and how he's able to connect with people, which is why these guys are superstars. He was just so normal, bar the 2 massive Super Bowl rings on his finger. They've just released a film actually about the making of the Super Bowl rings, the intricate detail that goes into them. I mean, we all know they're encrusted with diamonds, but the small details that go in. There's 28, I think he said maybe diamonds in the ring. That represents the maximum number of points that were scored against the Kansas City Chiefs in the run-up to winning this year's Super Bowl. All the players' surnames are engraved in the ring. There's confetti. The ring actually opens this year. Phenomenal. And they've released a documentary on that, and it's available. It's called Forging Greatness, so definitely something to watch. And before the panel started, Lara actually took a few moments out to chat to me about her role as CMO of the Kansas City Chiefs. Lara, thanks a million for joining me on That's What I Call Marketing. Amazing. Okay, I got drawn in by the amazing ring you have there. It's one of the Super Bowl rings. Incredible.
It's actually from this year's Super Bowl. So last Thursday in Kansas City, we hosted our ring ceremony where all of the players, coaches, business staff received this year's Super Bowl ring. God. So it's not subtle. I will say that. Makes my engagement ring look quite small.
That's an interesting conversation.
Yes, exactly. But no, it's absolutely beautiful. And it's really kind of the manifestation of the season that we've just had, and a celebration of that.
And what I love about that is, sports teams aren't just the players on the field. It is everybody that makes it possible then for the players to go out and do what they do in the field.
Absolutely. Our chairman and CEO, Clark Hunt, always, I think in every message kind of opens it with thanking Coach Reid, our general manager, Brett Beach, and our president, Marc Donovan, who the business staff rolls up into. Yeah. Because it really is that combination of the whole organization. Behind the scenes, our goal is to not have a distraction, right? For football, let them play. But at the same time, make sure that we are fulfilling the business needs that we need and really preparing for success. And it's been going quite well.
It has been going quite well. Yeah. I have to say, my kids at home, they know I'm here. They're pretty underwhelmed by the whole week. And then I said I was meeting you, and they're just like, oh my God, they've an aunt in the States who's bringing home Chiefs jerseys for them next week. So there you go. So it's international. And that's one of the things with the sport and probably the Chiefs maybe more so than others, is you're kind of it's getting out into the world. That must be a huge part of your role, kind of thinking internationally about marketing for the Chiefs.
It has. So I joined the organization 3 years ago, and one of the main kind of pillars when I joined was that we wanted to grow the brand internationally. We have an internal ambition of becoming the world's team. Which is big and lofty, and we are in day one of 1 million. But it really became a rallying cry internally. We felt like, while we are incredibly humble, we felt like we had the ingredients with the right people to do that, with what we do on the field, with the legacy of the Hunt family and the Chiefs and what we stand for. And so, over the last 2 years, a small team, including myself, our head of partnerships, Kim Hobb, Katie Kimmermer, our director of operations, have been on this endeavor, both in Germany, Austria, Switzerland, and Mexico, where we have marketing and commercial rights as part of the league's program. And it's been an amazing 2 years, and getting to play last year in Frankfurt was kind of a key moment for us in that journey.
Amazing. Yeah. I used to work for Indeed, and we actually used to support the Eintracht Frankfurt. Seems it's a great stadium there.
Great brand,
Great, amazing stuff. So how do you approach the marketing? I mean, it's a big, lofty question, but how do you go? There's so much, I guess, you can be doing and could be doing.
Yeah, we really. So when we were building our business plan for what would be kind of the focus, it was really based on 3 things. And the first 2 being fan growth, right? And brand awareness, for the ultimate goal of trying to commercialize the business over time. But we really were focused on how do we make sure that we're figuring out who are the right potential fans, specifically in the markets that we had rights for. Obviously, the avid fan base, as we call them, is quite small in comparison to the U.S.
Yeah.
So that was a big focus. How do we get those, brand advocates to start talking about us? But really also approaching it more for the casual fans. We are entertainment. We are American. Trying to not be someone that we're not either. So there's been education, but done in a fun way. But it's really been about bringing who we are as a values, focusing on that, brand awareness, showing up in really, I think, creative ways.
Yeah.
And I'm a huge believer that the frequency has been a big part of it for us, because we know we're still a fraction of the fans' time in Europe, right?
Yeah.
So we have to find ways that we show up more than just a game and more than just a season.
Interesting.
So we don't want to compete with soccer, to be honest. I think we believe there's space for American football and the Chiefs, but we need to provide new value, new entertainment versus trying to compete for the same kind of mindset when a European fan's watching soccer.
And is it do you find there's a type of fan? It's hard, obviously, not getting into kind of segmentation or personas, but is there you find that a football fan is more into American football?
I mean, in general, it's definitely a much younger fan for the most part that we're finding is willing to gravitate towards American football, understands kind of the entertainment aspect, is watching it on social and digital, right, is following along. But we've seen it be, very unisex. So we've seen men and women. In Germany, we've definitely seen a gravitation towards a lot more males. But again, I think when the world that we are in now is just so connected. We're part of culture. It's lifestyle. It's fashion. That's the red carpet that we did for the ring ceremony was really about the media moment. How do we make a red carpet moment for a ring, showing the fashion? So we've tried to find ways to get outside of the core sport. And it's been successful so far. We're excited about where we're going.
Yeah, it's great. That idea of extending outside the core, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. And then we talk about universes colliding a lot, and that's a big part of it because we know we're big in Kansas City and in the U.S. right now, but trying to find ways that connect the dots with other fans.
And storytelling of the actual athletes is a huge part of that. It really connects people, and that seems to be more available and more open nowadays. How do you approach that? Because then obviously you're not dealing with the athletes, but the athletes have to be up for it, I guess, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So Justin Reid, who is one of our key defensive players, is with us this week in Cannes, which is awesome. He'll be with us in Frankfurt on Friday. We're opening our first ever Champions House, which is our new event kind of experience. So we try to tell stories of players that want to be part of it, where the Chiefs and their brands, right, as athletes connect. Community is a big part of who the Chiefs are. So how do we get in the community and give back? Those are always stories that fans really gravitate towards. Our own media channels, right, on social and YouTube are a huge part of our business. We are a media company as much as a brand. But we try to get in there. We do everything in-house. So we have our own production teams that run social. It's very unusual for us to use outside agencies. We do on certain areas, but I think that's a big part of our success so far. We're so ingrained together, and we're constantly looking at the data and on the channels and figuring out what content works best.
And that allows you probably be nimble, fast, and
very
also
fast.
People understand the culture, all those things. Yeah.
And we can turn things around really quickly. So whether it's something happening, we can be really reactionary if we need to be, but also, for instance, today we're premiering the Forging Greatness, which is the making of the Super Bowl ring journey. It's a 22-minute piece that will premiere here at RTL Beach and then on our Chiefs YouTube channel. But that's a great example where the team's been working on it. We shot the rest of it on Thursday night at the ring ceremony, and we're ready to go. So scale, efficiency, effectiveness is much easier when you do it in-house.
Amazing. Well, listen, they're getting ready behind you here. I don't know, you need to get on and have your panel here, which I'm going to hang around for. Thanks so much for stopping by.
Thank you for having me.
No, it was an absolute pleasure, and my kids will be thrilled that I actually stood beside us. Go Chiefs! Exactly.
Go Chiefs! Thank you.
Thanks a million, Lara.
Absolutely.
Cheers. So I'm just going to be joined now by Lorna, who's with Droga 5, and came over with the Young Line competition, and Lorna's going to share some great news with us about their progress in the Young Line. Lorna, welcome back to That's What I Call Marketing. The last time we spoke, we were in what we call it backstage of Whelan's, but it was a dingy room at Whelan's, now in the south of France.
It's a lot different to the green room in Whelan's, I'll give it that. I mean, we didn't have the yachts there, but we're in Cannes now.
We're in Cannes now. So Great news. So you're here for the can line competition, young line competition, and some good news that you're going to share with everybody.
Yeah, some great news. So we have been shortlisted in the digital category. So Team Ireland are on the shortlist, down to the final 7 out of 50. So absolutely delighted. Kind of a bit wild. Don't believe it just yet. Like it's been the last kind of 72 hours of go, and then that news came in within kind of half an hour of presenting, and we were just like, oh, we present again. And now we wait till tomorrow.
Yeah. Did you know you were going to have to present twice at any point, or?
We knew if we were shortlisted, we'd have
Okay.
to present twice. So we decided we were going to mentally prepare ourselves for 2 presentations.
Oh, I like that.
You know, you only get one chance here. So we said to ourselves, we're going to have to do this twice. Like, unapologetically. You know, you have to back yourself. You know?
Yeah.
So we decided back ourselves, we're going to have to do this twice. Let's get ready for that. And we presented twice within an hour,
Oh, wow.
essentially. It was all go.
Can you talk anything about the brief and your response at all?
Yeah. So we got briefed on Monday, and it was Project Dandelion, which is Mary Robinson's. Her organisation, which is obviously something where you sit there going, we're Team Ireland.
Yeah.
You know, the former president of Ireland, the Ireland we were born into, was run by this lady. And that's a lot of weight on your shoulders all of a sudden. And the brief was to recruit 10 million dandelions to the organisation to help rally for COP30.
Okay.
It's a big brief, big ask, 10 million.
Yeah.
Not a short, you know, or not a small few people that we need to get on board. So we did what we said we'd do. We took ourselves away from here. We went right down La Croisette and disappeared.
Okay.
Over a drink and just went, how could we do this? How could we be ourselves and answer this? And we kind of just got away from the noise and just remembered that we do this all the time. Let's do it again.
Yeah.
We're good at this, and we're good when we're together, and we work really well. Georgia is queuing to see Travis Kelce, so
I can't believe she's ditched me.
I know.
For some Travis, whoever.
I don't know, does she want to see him because he's Travis Kelce or because he's Taylor
just
Swift's
didn't want
boyfriend?
to see
I don't
me.
know. We honestly didn't think you'd ever have us back. But yeah, we took ourselves away and we kind of flipped the brief a little bit because no one wants to sign up to anything in this world. So I can't give too much away.
Yeah.
But we did a little flip on that and just made it something really interesting, something we hope no one else got to. And well, we're down to the final 7, so...
Final 7 out of 50, and it was the most competitive category, it turns out.
Yeah, it's the largest category in young
over.
lines, yeah. So digital is the largest young lines category, and it keeps getting bigger every year. So the competition is obviously higher, and it's just more intense. You know, there's 100 competitors, essentially.
Yeah, wow.
And you have to stand out. And we just went in and we were just ourselves.
Brilliant.
And you're in front of a jury of amazing people. The chair of the jury is the creative lead for WhatsApp in the US. You've got the CCO from the pub Mexico. You've the founder of We Are Social. And it's just even getting that opportunity,
I
5
know.
minutes to present in front of these people and get to tell them why this idea is great and just see a bit of you and represent Ireland. Leave a lasting impression, and obviously you've got the pressure of Mary Robinson's organisation that you're there for, so you have to give a nod to her and being Irish and why this was so important to you to answer this with everything you had because
so much
it
passion.
deserved it.
And is it only a 5-minute presentation?
5-minute presentation
my God.
and a 5-minute Q&A.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, a lot of pressure. So you just wait around now and
So
wait to
tomorrow
find-
morning
Okay.
at 10:30 on that stage, just over there
On the terrace stage?
on the terrace stage.
Oh, if I'm around, I'm going to have to get down for that.
I'll be very offended if you're not there now. Especially with this view. You can see it from here.
I think I asked Jimmy to chat to me at that time tomorrow.
If he chooses you over me now, that's a whole other story.
He hasn't responded, so I know where to find him though.
Yeah, you might be able to catch him from here. But we'll find out if we place. So there's gold, silver, bronze place. So we will.
But look, coming over here, first of all, we said when we met the last time, to be here was phenomenal. Now you're shortlisted. It's amazing. So, it's just anything else is a plus, but it's brilliant. Well done.
Yeah, we keep building on those pluses. So one more day of it.
One more. Well, listen, we'll enjoy the rest of today and, enjoy tomorrow. And congratulations. It's great news.
Thank you. It's for everyone here. It's represented Ireland. and we just
Brilliant.
need to keep doing it.
Well done.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thanks for having
Thanks,
me.
Lorna. No. So I'm joined by more of the young lions here from Ireland. I've Tyla and Alex, who are part of the media competition. So they're going to chat to me about their experience today.
Yeah, thanks for having us. We've just finished. We presented today at about 12:30. It was amazing. We had to prepare everything in 24 hours, which was unreal.
Okay.
Because when we did it locally, we had 48 hours. So a bit of a different type of situation, but incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you also have to sleep, so you don't have 24 hours. You have like 10,
Yeah.
I'd say.
Yeah,
total.
it's tough. It's tough. It's real pressure. And can you say anything about the brief itself?
Oh yeah, the brief was amazing. It was so thoughtful and so touching. It was about Gen Z men and their struggles with how success is represented today in media.
Okay.
And the fact that how it's represented, it's all about men, power, money, all the things. And success to them is all about family, being happy, being healthy, having friends, having loved ones. So it's about this gap, and
Yeah.
we were really trying to figure out how to bridge the gap and make them happier.
It's a real disconnect there. Yeah.
Literally, the whole response was, how do we bridge the gap between the two of what is reality and what's actually being showcased in media, which is quite a powerful thing to be able to answer.
Yeah.
So hopefully we did it right.
And I was told to Lorna, 5 minutes to present, 5 minutes for questions.
5 minutes, although flip, we went over.
Did you?
Yeah.
Asked so many questions.
Yeah, we had a load of questions, and the moderators eventually were like, guys, to the judges, we got to wrap it up, we got to go.
Maybe a good sign. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. So you find out tomorrow?
Tomorrow, yeah. I think the awards start at about 9:30, and then they'll announce everyone, and then the gold winners get to actually go up in the evening at the final award ceremony, which is unreal.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. Okay,
Yeah.
okay, amazing. Well, listen, best of luck tomorrow. I'm going to
Thank
try
you.
pop down. It's going to be on the terrace, I think, is it?
Yes,
Tomorrow? Okay, I'm going to
yes.
try pop down and see and, cheer on. I said, I'll just go find an Irish flag somewhere. So, I'm going to catch up now with Jamie Fulham. Jamie is with Diageo, and of course Diageo have had some success here this week with Bailey's sound scales. So I'm going to chat to Jamie a bit about that. Thanks for stopping by. You have some good news about Bailey's sound scales. What's the story?
Got another silver today.
Another silver.
So 2 for 2. First was on Monday, which is in the audio category, use technology, and then today was creative commerce. So yeah.
Oh, brilliant.
absolutely
Okay,
delighted.
that's fantastic.
5 shortlists overall, 2 silvers. So really good result. Really
Yeah,
good.
that's fantastic. Amazing campaign. Sounds good. For people who, I even talked about it in the newsletter actually. So if people aren't aware of it, can you just briefly describe what it was?
Yeah, sure. So I suppose the brief started before Christmas. So we knew we were heading in to the biggest time of year for Bailey's, which is Christmas. But we knew that hundreds of thousands of bottles will be purchased, and the likelihood is actually that they would go back into the cupboard until the following Christmas. So we wanted to remind people how much they love Bailey's and how it could be enjoyed outside that specific time of year. So the brief was literally to use digital to prompt people to consider Bailey's. VML, who we partnered with on this brief, came up with a really, really innovative idea, which was using sound. So by simply blowing a note at the top of the bottle of a Bailey's, you'd be able to determine how much you have left in the bottle and how many recipes you could use with that. Because actually, if you think about it, because the bottle is black and dark, you actually can't see into how much there is. So it sort of inhibits like the amount of spontaneous sort of treating occasions that it could tap into. So using audio, really, really simple, allowed us to tap into more occasions and allow more people to enjoy Bailey's.
Yeah, really, really clever idea. When I saw it, I really loved it because the other option is you just take it and take a shake, or you pour and then you're disappointed.
Yeah.
The degrees of disappointment when there's nothing, there's not enough there.
Yeah, and we kind of that was one of the things, especially because we know that Bailey's, all the research that we have, is you tend to drink Bailey's with someone else.
Yeah.
And there's nothing worse than opening up a bottle and you only have enough for one person, and that's a real, and especially when you're hosting with other people, you want to have the confidence and not be it kind of goes back to the easy service. Obviously, like you said, it's the darkness and stuff.
Yeah.
As soon as you open up that bottle as well, one of the good things as well is because you have to blow into it, you're actually going to burn it up your nose.
The smell.
So the smell is an automatic
Yeah.
to kind of give yourself that kind of the opportunity to treat yourself. So yeah, it was a really clever piece of work from VML, and they went and kind of said we were kind of, I think one of the initial questions we had was well, this technology doesn't exist, so we had to go build it, and kind of work with them to get it done as quick as possible.
Wow.
It was probably one of the bigger challenges that we had, but they were really really good at delivering it. So yeah, absolutely delighted to kind of work with them and actually get to. So it was a really, really big result.
Brilliant. It is a great result. We came over here hoping for wins for creativity and kind of Irish people and working in the industry. So it's brilliant to be bringing them home. Listen, what else have you enjoyed about the week, Jamie?
I've done Canline before, but I was a young lion, so I kind of lost a bit of time on it last time. So this time I came over and I was like, I'm going to go do as many talks as possible. And I kind of got to the last night and I was absolutely wrecked. That's the one thing. I've gone to loads of different talks, but the one thing that I've actually really enjoyed is going to the live judging.
Okay.
So actually going to see the judges talk about why they've awarded what they've awarded. And that's really, really great to get insight from, because you're actually kind of seeing what they're looking for. And to be fair, it's quite consistent year on year. There's a few changes, not to mention the word AI, which has probably been mentioned 1,000,001 times. I've avoided all that. Yeah, I've heard that before. I've avoided all that kind of stuff and just actually gone to what the jury's actually looking for.
Right, yeah.
I found some really interesting sessions around the use of it at home and the use of different mediums. And a key kind of trend that they do is obviously take something that wasn't a piece of creative or wasn't a media touch point before, and then now reuse that as a media touch point and piece of creative. So I really enjoyed going to them, the live judging, and then just walking the palette. I think if you can go off to your fancy beaches, you can do all the really cool parties, but the majority of stuff that's really insightful is downstairs on a board. That's where I really get the most. That's what I've enjoyed the most.
I think to me it's understanding the power of simplicity in a way. Because when you walk into the palette downstairs, you've all the amazing work, but you're overwhelmed, right? And it just allows you to put yourself into the consumer or the person's mind on a daily basis, see how many sort of ads work
such a
that
great
they're
point.
bombarded with. And actually it's the ones that can cut through that you notice, and then that they notice in return. So really, I think focus, simplicity, prioritization, a couple of things that I'm definitely coming back with as well.
Yeah, after sleep.
Yes, that too.
And cool, warm, not too hot.
We're such winch bags, aren't we? Like we're in the south of France, it's roasting hot. And it's like it's too bloody hot. Doesn't get more Irish than that. Well, listen, congratulations, great news. Thanks for stopping by to tell us about it. And I kind of feel like a Bailey's now. That's the only problem. Anyway, Bailey's and ice. Right. Thanks a million, guys. Cheers. Congratulations. Cheers. Well, I've just come back up from the terrace, and the terrace is a creators takeover today. And before I came to Cannes, I'd had a conversation with somebody about, did we think creators were going to have a big presence, what we felt that was going to be like this year. And really, it has felt like a creators takeover. Sports as well has been a huge part, I think, thematically of what I've seen here anyway. But I think next year, creators is going to be even bigger and better at Cannes. That's something certainly to watch out for. I just came back up from the stage where Linda, who's the X CEO, and Marc, who's president of Mr.Beast, were having a conversation. Did you know Mr.Beast is only 26? Fascinatingly, he dubs into 15 languages. Interestingly, it's dubbing. I wonder who does that. Is it Freedman International, I wonder? Marc talked about kind of the previous gravity for creators was that they wanted to get into TV or film. A lot of them will move to LA, but he said that isn't the case anymore. That isn't the gravitational pull for creators. They're doing it to be creators, and there's a business to be made out of it. Mr.Beast has sold $1.5 billion worth of his Feastables chocolate bar. So absolutely, he is doing incredibly well. Look, like anything, there's not everyone is making the Mr.Beast money, but a lot of creators are making hugely successful ways of life. So it's incredible. Marc then mentioned as well that he feels that CMOs get it. CMOs aren't the problem. They're understand the creator economy, but he said we should be talking to CFOs. And again, that's something else that came up prior to coming to Cannes, and someone had said to me, should CFOs be here? Now I said maybe CFO isn't going to sign off on your budget or your expenses for this if they come. But actually, I do think that would be amazing evolution if we were able to have more CFOs here and present and presenting. It would certainly add another dimension. So really great to see them speaking. I also got to see Patrick O'Keefe from E.L.F Beauty talking. Now, I've talked about E.L.F Beauty before on this podcast. I got to see, obviously, Kory speaking at the Creator IQ event in London. Really phenomenal speaker, first of all, and just incredibly dynamic brand. So I kind of been following the E.L.F story around this week, and Patrick was talking about the percentage of his budget that he spends. It's 24 to 26% of revenue is spent on marketing, so they have significant budgets given the revenue that they report. He has said that, obviously a huge amount of that is paid, but they need to move fast, and that is where creators come in for them. They react to culture, and that is how they operate. So he spoke about their Too Many Dicks campaign. I had that in our newsletter recently in the last couple of months. So here's what Patrick had to say about Too Many Dicks.
At E.L.F Beauty, our board of directors is comprised of 2/3 women and 1/3 diverse. Out of 4,200 publicly traded companies, we are one of 4. That's a major problem. And I give it, again, Kory's sitting in the audience here, but Kory, this was her vision. She brought it to life, and the campaign has changed conversations. So what we did is we identified an insight. Everything starts with an insight at E.L.F. And we recognized that there are more Richards and Dicks that are sitting on boards than underprivileged people, like women, Asians, Hispanic. And we said, no, this isn't right. And so we created a campaign. It's called So Many Dicks. And the idea around this campaign is to really change the conversation. And it's working. What we're seeing now is that there are young girls sitting at their dining room table with their moms asking questions about, what is a board? What does it mean? The board is the most powerful seat of every organization. There are 4,200 of them that are publicly traded, and they're not representing what the world should be. So I'm so proud to be at E.L.F, to represent and to be a part of something that is changing the world and changing the conversation.
Creators are part of that, though. You're training 20 women to 4 board roles, and some of them are creators.
Well, a lot of them are women that have aspiration. One of them is Ekta. She's sitting in the audience today. Ekta Chopra, she is our chief digital officer, and she has a big aspiration to be on a board. And what we're doing is we're bringing 20 of them in to train them so that they can understand what it means to be on a board.
And just before Patrick left, I managed to grab about 40 seconds with him just to get his perspective on how he manages the growth that is E.L.F Beauty. Patrick, please tell me, E.L.F is an absolute rocket ship at the speed of, I don't know what it is, culture. How are you kind of managing all of that? You have huge budgets, huge responsibility, huge growth. How are you kind of getting your head around everything, and how do you know what to focus on?
Our community. It goes back to our community. They tell us every day how we should show up, what we should be doing, and then when they tell us something, we listen, we learn, and we lean in. It's also partnering with incredible agencies that could help drive the creativity that's really driving the force behind our content.
It's good to see you all.
Brilliant. Well, it's an incredibly creative brand, and thanks for stopping by. I know you're running somewhere else. Thanks a million. Cheers. Well, look, that is it from today's The Cannes Sessions, our daily roundup, Volume 5. Tomorrow is going to be the last day at Cannes. Of course, it does go on late. There's going to be more awards. The young lines get announced tomorrow morning. I'm going to try pass by there and see who the winners are. Obviously, we have a short list. We might find out if there are more tomorrow. We'll find out later on tonight if there are more Irish winners, and maybe there will be more tomorrow. So it's still a lot more to go in Cannes. I will be leaving tomorrow, so I'm going to do one last daily roundup tomorrow. I'm going to try grab a few people, find out their experience, what they've learned from the week, what they're taking away, bar exhaustion, I think. So from me, Conor Byrne, thanks for tuning in to the Cannes Sessions, the daily roundup, and of course, thanks so much to Freedman International for their support.
That's what we call marketing.